What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Israel Adesanya receives backlash for call-out. After Israel Adesanya defeated longtime rival Alex Pereira at UFC 287, many wondered what the future would hold for him, given that the last stylebender had already beaten many of the division's top contenders, some more than one time. There were questions about who he could potentially face next. Although he didn't want to give Dricus du Plessis attention, he admitted that he hopes the South African fighter manages to secure a title shot so he can give him the beatdown of a lifetime. The scathing shots came on the heels of du Plessis stating back in March that he is the African fighter in the UFC, not Kamaru Usman, who celebrated his title win in America, or Israel Adesanya, who celebrated his win in New Zealand. Following the comments, du Plessis was booked for a #1 contender fight with former champion Robert Whittaker, putting his name back in the headlines. Now, Adesanya has circled back around du Plessis, taking aim at him during a recent video.
I've never questioned him as an African because, yeah, you were born in Africa, South Africa. Of course, you're an African. I've never questioned that. But who the f is this telling me who the f I am, who the f Kamaru is, who the f Ngannou is? I'm like, are you dumb? As a product of colonization, you're trying to tell me who the f I am.
These comments didn't sit well with some, who went as far as to call Adesanya out for racism. Others pointed out that du Plessis could wind up meeting the same fate as so many other contenders before him and losing to Robert Whittaker, putting a halt to any potential talk of the South African fighter getting a crack at the title. With Whittaker and du Plessis set to scrap on July 8th, do you think we'll get a chance to see the South African contender compete against Israel Adesanya? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Nate Diaz arrest update. On the heels of video footage surfacing showing Stockton superstar Nate Diaz choking a man unconscious during a brawl in New Orleans, the former UFC fighter has now turned himself in to New Orleans police on second-degree battery charges. Diaz's representative, Zach Rosenfield, provided a statement to media members which revealed that Diaz had turned himself in after a warrant was issued for his arrest. The statement, which was relayed by MMA Fighting, reads, "Nate voluntarily turned himself in to the New Orleans Police Department this morning approximately 7:10 a.m. Central Time. We continue to look forward to presenting all the evidence and videos that show Nate was acting in self-defense." The charges of second-degree battery are considered felonies in the state of Louisiana. As a result, on the harsh end, they carry with them a potential sentence of 8 years with the possibility of hard labor. On the other end, the charges could carry as little as a $2,000 fine. According to the report, Diaz was allowed to post bail with no travel restrictions placed on him. So far, no word yet on when Diaz will be due to appear in court. Stay tuned for updates as they become available. UFC updates and booking roundup. This week has seen quite a few big updates emerge regarding upcoming fights. Without further ado, let's jump right in. The recently announced Jack Hermansson vs. Brendan Allen main event for June 3rd is now in jeopardy after Hermansson pulled out of the fight with an undisclosed injury. In the wake of the news, Brendan Allen has now called for a rematch against Sean Strickland. Of course, Strickland is currently booked to fight Abus Magomedov in July, creating quite the interesting predicament for the UFC, given that Allen suggested fighting on the date of Strickland's scheduled bout on July 1st rather than on the card he and Hermansson were supposed to headline in early June. Hermansson wasn't the only fighter forced out of a fight this week, however. According to reports, former flyweight champion Deiveson Figueiredo has been forced out of his UFC 290 clash against Manel Kape after not being medically cleared to compete. According to Figueiredo, he still hasn't been fully cleared to fight after sustaining an eye injury against Brendan Moreno back in January. This week also saw a new fight booked for July 22nd, with Jamal Pogues set to compete against Michael Parkin. That card is expected to serve as the UFC's highly anticipated return to London over the summer. Last but certainly not least, we have another update on Aries FC heavyweight champ Slim Trabelsi, who had dealt with contract issues while trying to sign with the UFC previously. Reports surfaced Thursday that Bellator had signed Trabelsi. However, it was then revealed by his manager, Fernand Lopez, who works for the promotion, that Aries would not allow Trabelsi out of his contract to compete for Bellator. Before we continue, make sure you give that like button some love and be sure to subscribe to the MMA Zone for all of the latest news. Jared Gordon reacts to Paddy Pimblett's hospital call-out. On the heels of Jared Gordon's recent no contest against Bobby Green as the result of an accidental clash of heads, many wondered if Gordon would take Paddy Pimblett up on his offer to run their controversial UFC 282 fight back. According to Gordon, although he wants to avenge the loss, with Pimblett fresh off ankle surgery and still unsure of when he'll be able to get back to the octagon, the fight doesn't make much sense right now. During an interview with MMA Fighting, he reflected on his reaction to seeing Pimblett calling him out from a hospital bed several weeks ago, post-ankle surgery.
I was laughing, just it's like, if you really thought you won, bro, you're in the recovery room of the hospital, you just had ankle surgery, and the first words that you're muttering are Jared Gordon. So it's like, you're clearly living in your head.
Pimblett's manager recently jumped to the baddie's defense, given that his client has continued to field criticism for his UFC 282 performance, all this time later, pointing out that he's just 28 years old.
Long term, he's 27. There ain't no fucking rush for Paddy. And, you know, we make all the right steps with Paddy in constant communication. You know, I think he's got a huge, bright future. I don't believe he needs to be rushed.
With Pimblett on the mend following surgery and Gordon still recovering from his accidental clash of heads with Bobby Green, only time will tell whether these two fighters' paths cross in the future. Conor McGregor's sister allegedly dating son of man he punched in pub. According to Irish tabloids, reports have surfaced that Conor McGregor's sister is now dating Graham Whelan, the son of the man whom the Irish star punched in a pub back in 2017. According to reports, back in February, McGregor's sister and Whelan went public with their relationship, where she posted a photo of them together at McGregor's Black Forge Inn just days after Whelan was allegedly released from prison. Irish media has claimed that Whelan is a gangster closely tied to Daniel Kinahan of the Kinahan Organized Crime Group, whom McGregor has seemingly become close to over the years. According to the US government, Kinahan, who also has close ties to Tyson Fury and Darren Till, is wanted for running what's alleged to be one of the biggest drug trafficking businesses in the world. From the sounds of things, despite McGregor punching Whelan's father, he and Graham are actually friends. At the time of the incident, when Floyd Mayweather posted a photo claiming McGregor had a €900,000 bounty on his head, Whelan took to his private Twitter account, where he told the boxer not to believe everything he reads. Henry Cejudo goes off on potential opponents. Ahead of Henry Cejudo's highly anticipated return to the octagon next month, Triple C has officially put several other fighters on notice. In addition to taking shots at Aljamain Sterling, Cejudo also revealed his plans to take out streaking contender Sean O'Malley, before then making the move up to featherweight to compete against Alexander Volkanovski in pursuit of his ultimate goal, the title of C4.
Aljamain Sterling, stay tuned, man. Your time is running out. May 6th is right around the corner. Go ahead and get your little thong ready, your nice little dress ready, because I'm taking you out first. And then I'm going after Ronald McDonald, that's right, Sean O'Malley. He's next, that dirty Q-tip. And after that, the real gold. Once I get done with you two tune-ups, I'm going after Alexander the Average.
As Cejudo went on to reveal, he respects what Volkanovski has done in the sport. However, with his ultimate goal being the first ever 3-division champion in UFC history, Cejudo believes that the featherweight kingpin is a necessary stepping stone. So far, no word yet from Volkanovski. However, his focus is currently on a title unification fight with Yair Rodriguez this summer at the promotion's annual International Fight Week card on July 8th, as well as a potential rematch with Islam Makhachev in the future. Do you think Cejudo's predictions of becoming the first ever 3-division champ will come true? And now for our breaking news story of the day. We have a UFC fighter pulling out of UFC Vegas 74 on June 3rd. Alan Nascimento is out in his fight against Victor Altamirano. It has now been confirmed that Tim Elliott will step in and replace Alan Nascimento at UFC Vegas 74. What do you think of these moves by the UFC? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay up to date with MMA news every day. Here are the top comments from yesterday's video. Facts: UFC is dominant in marketing, but if they aren't careful, ONE FC is not far behind. Someone responded with, ONE FC is very far behind, LOL. Paddy better stop, because that's where he's headed. Paddy is just sucking up to Dana. It's so obvious by the fact he started talking bad about Ariel. It was him hoping he would get appreciated by Dana White. And those were the top comments from yesterday's video. If you want to be featured on our next video, make sure to leave a comment and don't forget to check out yesterday's video in case you missed it.